All right, I forgot to start this in the beginning. I don't know, we're maybe a half a mile in. But you don't know where I'm talking about yet. Well, so we're up in Vermont. Headed toward, I think it's Little Rock Pond. Treasure hunting. So there's treasure inside. Book has the treasure on the Appalachian Trail, and there's a map, and the map looks suspiciously like this section of trail that we're on, so we're joining among the whatever dozens if not hundreds of people that have already looked, and so far nobody at least has admitted to finding the treasure up here, but I couldn't just leave it alone and not take a look. So anyway, we've got a few ideas of where to look along the trail. We're not there yet, but getting there. It's a Tuesday, rain last night, so the trail's wet. A little chilly, but it's not bad. There were a couple of cars in the parking lot, one leaving as we got here. One more that came as we started. A real good chance at least a couple of them are also doing the same thing we're doing. So anyway, I'll keep you updated, and hopefully along the way I'll be showing you the treasure, but I figure our chances are almost like the lottery at finding it, so I'm not expecting to, but hey, if you don't look, you'll never find it. All right. So no, that is not the prize or the treasure, but we found something. It's worth something. Starting to poke around a little bit, realizing just how big the woods are. There's Little Rock Pond. No treasure so far. Go back this way. Guess he's wondering where I got to. So we're on the other side of the pond now. Up on these rocks. I know. Supposed to be hunting treasure, not stopping to look at nice scenes. Too bad. This is probably the only thing we're going to come away with, so I should take advantage of it. It's a nice area. I don't know that this would be big enough to seriously paddle in, but then again, there was that canoe that we came across, so somebody was. Racing birds. Turning into a nice day. We're up mostly to the top of the, I think it's Green Mountain is the name of it. That one right over there is Homer Stokes Mountain. the relevance is that somewhere on the map it shows a guy with a bald head and Homer's bald, so whatever. Get a little corner of the pond here at this point, but you lose some of the open mountain views. Anyway, but it's a perfect place to have lunch, so that's what we're gonna do. On the trail, spring hasn't quite made it here yet. So far, I haven't showed you too much of our poking around, but it's just a reminder of how big a forest is. So unless you really have it pretty well dialed, it's, like I said, kind of like lottery odds. But anyway, we're still headed to the end point of the map in the book, and poke around there a bit. Maybe I'll film some of that just to show you what a super sleuth I am. More snow. All right, I believe this is the end point of the treasure map. Looking for the pot of gold. If you see it first, it's yours. Well, if it was here, it's not here now, but I know several people have been here, so that would have been the case. If it was here, it wouldn't be here. So, now let's start poking around. There's no hard and fast definition of the size of this thing, but I believe it to be about a 4x6 or maybe a 6x8 box. And it's entirely possible that it's in something, either camouflaged or behind rocks or in the stump of a tree or any of those types of things. But so like you look there, doesn't seem like there's anything obvious in there, you know, so I won't bother walking that way, but certainly you walk far enough, you might get to something that meets any of those criteria. We didn't go down the hill over here because I'm believing that he's not going to try to get somebody killed. As a matter of fact, he said that. Well, he didn't say that exact words, but it shouldn't be dangerous. But again, depending on how well camouflaged it is, and let's say it's a 4x6 box, you can hide that almost anywhere. And of course, you don't know. First, you don't even know if you're, for that matter, in the right state. Could be several places. I think the clues make a strong suggestion for it to be here, but that doesn't mean it is. Yeah, so like this rock here could be about the right size. And looks like somebody's already kicked it and moved it. So you don't know if you're even in the right general in the state for that matter, or anywhere in the right place. It's supposed to be along the Appalachian Trail, so you got that going for you. But we're not on the Appalachian Trail anymore, so if you're a believer that it has to be like on or really close to it, then this wouldn't qualify. But I'm also going with it could be within a proximity of the Appalachian Trail. The map really does, the treasure map really maps well with the actual map, especially once we hiked it. So that's the strong indicator. You know, so let's see, right there, there's a hump, so eventually behind it there could be something. You did say it's not buried. It's not behind that. Nothing saying it's not up in a tree someplace. We not too far from here on the way up, there's a lot of rocky area with little caves and stuff in it, and we stopped to check out a bunch of them, but not every single one. Now and then, if it is off trail, how far off trail? If I were hiding it, I'd probably go a couple 100 feet off trail. I don't want it to be easy, but that can make it nearly impossible. Another probably about 30 feet off the trail, so another 170 feet in any direction here. Could be anything out there. So anyway, if I find it, I'll show it to you. We'll spend a little more time poking around. Probably go back to a couple of spots that I had some thoughts on. But once again, I don't expect to find it. Okay, gonna catch her. Got her. Privy. Guess where we just stopped. Anyway, that's the start of the trail that I missed before. Or the end. Actually, we did a loop, so we came out over this way. Here's the parking lot. Just about 9 miles, 1,200 feet of elevation. 5 hours or so, which because we did a lot of poking around. It was also supposed to be 6 miles, so I don't think we did that much poking around. So I'm guessing I was just off on my estimate. But so yeah, it was a decent hike from the hiking standpoint. It was unproductive from trying to find treasure. Somebody from Idaho here, probably trying to find treasure. Who knows what they're doing. Talked to a few people today. We saw a few people out. Nobody else at least admitted that they were treasure hunting. And you probably have no idea what I'm talking about, so I'll give you the short answer on that. So there's a book that came out about 6 months ago, shortly after we had done the local treasure hunt, the Project Skydrop thing. Anyway, it came out. You could buy the book. The book wasn't available, but I eventually got it in January or so. And it's the name of the book is There's Treasure Inside. And the short, you can read all about it if you want. You can probably look that up and find all kinds of information online about it. Short answer is there's somewhere in the neighborhood of $2 million worth of treasure hidden in 5 different treasure boxes. 1 large one, 4 small ones. My main attraction is one of the small ones is the Appalachian Trail treasure box, which is why we're here. And so I dug into it a little bit. There are a number of people that are obviously into it. And there's a map. So each one of the 4 small ones each have a chapter dedicated to them. And then some kind of puzzle or the text has theoretically some clues given in it, but this one actually has a map. And somebody had figured out that if you look at the map that was drawn, it almost perfectly mirrors this trail that we just went on. So this is in Vermont. We're only a couple hours away, so I knew I had to get up here and try looking. So anyway, we didn't find it, and it was a reminder. And I learned that last year when we were doing the other one, that you can be fairly close to where it is, but when you're talking about in the woods, there's all kinds of places to hide things. So in any case, supposedly several people have been here. No one has had any success. Also, supposedly, nobody's found any of the treasures yet. So if you're interested, go buy yourself a book and see where it takes you. But anyway, we may come back. I'll have to see if I can come up with a better strategy. We kind of covered all areas of thoughts that I had. And yeah, just because the map shows the trail that matches this area doesn't mean it couldn't match someplace else, and it also doesn't mean that the fact that the trail matches here means that the treasure's here. It could just be a clue of some sort. So in any case, I'm sure if it goes on, I'll come up with another reason to come up this way. It is a nice area. So anyway, that was long-winded. I'm signing off.